Hello, my dearest chess friends. This is International Master Camilla Ciovano, and I welcome you to our new episode, which is titled Valiant Queen. So we're going to talk about the Valiant Queen, and I will show you this position to start with, which is a puzzle that I have invented. Yes, so it's gonna be fun because we will see with much pleasure how elegant the queen will glide and bringing black's king right to the corner, and so checkmate it. So actually in this endgame we can see that white has knight and bishop for the rook, and black's king is in the center, which is a very exposed position, and black is threatening to take on c1, right? It's got the queen and the rook, so the knight on c1 has become a target, but white is to move. And so black's king has only 2 squares available, all right? And so white will simply make the queen glide right to the border. So in this case black can only go to d4, so queen e7 check, king d4. Okay, so gradually white is pushing the king because he has no other options but has to move on the diagonal, and so the queen also checks. So the queen is moving on the diagonal and the king does the same, and they are both dark diagonals. Okay, so can you see that the black has no other option but go to b2, and so on and so forth. Queen to b4, taking away all these squares, and black will be forced to go on a1, and finally checkmate on a3. What elegant moves for this valiant queen. Good, so now let's see another puzzle, and in this position black is to move. This time we will have queen and knight. We'll have to make them work together. We also have 2 pawns and a lonely king. Okay, so we will have to have some aid from the pawns, from white's pawns. We can see that white is threatening the checkmate in one move, again collaborating with the queen and knight. But the queen and knight are on the opposite side, so they cannot actively participate in the defense of white's king. We can also see another immediate threat, which is knight takes queen. So black needs to find a way to trap the king, because the king would like to escape through g6. And so first of all we should take care of the g6 square. We can see that the king can go nowhere else but through g6, so we have to take away his exit. Therefore what black does is sacrifice the knight first. The king can go nowhere, white is forced to take, and then gradually the queen will take away white's escaping squares. So he will check on f5, the king goes back, the king is lonely, then check. Can you see how important one pawn is? Just because its own purpose and the sole role is that of defending an attacking queen, a valiant queen. And so the king is forced to go to h3, and can you see that his own pawns are taking away his exits. And finally queen to h5 is a checkmate. So let's go from the beginning and see that first of all we have to take away all the king's squares. So check, white has to take, and then check, check, and checkmate on h5. Wonderful. I like this valiant queen. Do you? Okay, and now let's go to the basic queen's endgame for the beginners, and let's see what is the technique in order to checkmate when we're one queen up in the endgame. So the technique is that of pushing the king away on the border and then in one corner, and making our king work together with the queen in order to create a situation in which white can checkmate. So first of all we will just push the king away, So wherever he goes, now we will even take a new rank away from the king. If he just wants to remain on the 6th rank, then we can simply pursue the king. Okay, at some point he will have to go down, and so we take away a new rank from him. Can you see? The queen is taking away all these squares from the king. So the king goes there. Again, we have confined the king to the last rank, and gradually we will push it in the corner, but pay attention not to go too far away. And I want to suggest that you pay attention, because if you just go too close to the king, for example, if white would move queen f7 right here, the king can go nowhere, and that is a stalemate, and that is a draw, and of course we want to avoid that. And so the way to do it is by leaving a vacant square where the king can be transported. So now it's time, when the king has only one square left to move on, it's time for the king to approach black's king. And so we also have a very courageous king that works together with a valiant queen and checkmate black's king. So let's go from the beginning and the way to do it. So the technique of winning is by simply pushing the opponent's king on one side, one border of the chessboard, no matter what. It can be a file, it can be a rank, and then just push it into the corner, making sure that we leave a vacant square where it can move. And then finally we can bring the new aid, which will allow the queen to approach the opponent's king in a position of checkmate. So I really hope that you liked this example and the episode of the Valiant Queen, and I'll be waiting for you for new adventures of the Valiant Queen here at Royal Crown Chess. All the best to you, my dear friends. See you next.